following blindly them. And the current generation is not given this enough sanskaras from their elderly generations, and that is a big gap, and we'll see the big mess in future. But those who are lucky to get this krishna conscious moment, they can be saved from this danger. And the reason why we are talking all this here is we all are fortunate to come in contact with ISKCON, Prabhupada, to understand this message in our life, and that's how we can make our life more and more meaningful. Is that okay? Any question here? Anybody? Or shall we move ahead? And you can ask me anytime question. Or shall we take at the end? Nileshpu, you are the boss. Please tell me. Okay. If anybody want to ask intermediate, I am fine. But if you want to ask at the end, that is also okay. Okay. Are we good to go? Anybody has any questions? Okay. Next, consultation. So here we can see that this next part comes when Lord Ram has to be coronated as a king. In this pastime, Dasharatha is a king who ruled 60,000 years the kingdom. After ruling such a kingdom, he is still discussing with his ministers. So the same point coming from the last slide is permissions and blessing. Here, consultation. Though the person can be at any level, still he should consult, because not one person can see the things from all the perspective. So it is one of the quality of leader to consult. None of the successful leader have whimsically taken any decision and he has succeed. He has always a good team. In that good team, he always consult, and there are particular experts from each area, and they give their different views, and collectively the leader make the good decision. So this is one of the quality which we should learn from here. Dasharatha decided to coronate Lord Ram. So here Dasharatha is consulting all his ministers that I am thinking to install Ram as the next king. I see that my hairs are becoming white now. So when the kingdom, when the king's minister heard that, they were very happy. Everyone loves Lord Ram like anything, and they said, This is the best decision, and entire uh, like Praja will be very happy with this kind of decision, to see the Lord Ram as a king." So here Dasharatha shows by his example also that, though I am a father of the supreme personality of Godhead, still I need to consult with my team and then make the decision. So in the life also, so it may be in family incidents or in workplace or anything, we should always consult. That helps us to fall before falling into any danger, and doesn't cost us any impact on our decisions. So when we have all the inputs, then we can take a right decision. Sometimes we think from the one angle, but there might be somebody who may think from multiple angles. So um, we have to see all the views, and then when we have all the inputs with our level ability, we can take a decision in our life. So that's how we can perfect, and all the successful leader have shown this example. Nobody will speak out these qualities of consultation and all, but no, every successful leader has their successful team. It is not that anytime any person has succeeded on his own. He might be the person who might be inputting, but and there is a lot of work done before making any kind of decision, and there is a lot of analysis has to be done. There is a lot of data has to be collected for the analysis, and once all the things are there, then only the major decisions has to be taken. And for that, the consultation is the aspect which Lord Ram's father is showing by his example. So one should, but to have this consultation, one should be humble enough. Lot of times the pride is the one which blocks us for consultation. So um, it is the biggest harm to us. We'll see that in next slide, which talks about a lot of bad qualities which is a hindrance to our progress. It may be any aspect. We are just talking in terms of spiritual life, but it can be any part of life, even our own progress also in career. If we have good consult, good direction, then we can progress quickly. Otherwise, on our own effort, if we try to do everything, we are very limited. Our life is very short. We cannot take all the decisions, or we cannot plan anything perfectly our own. We need always guidance. We need always consultation. So the most important of area of life is human form of life. In that, and the direction how to progress in spiritual life is very, very important. That's how the consultation with superiors, especially Shuddhava Prabhu is so nice. He's so busy managing temple, so many activities, but still he's giving us time. So we should consider this fortunate opportunity, and whenever we have time and Shuddhava Prabhu has time, consult with him, give seek guidance, uh, tell your problems, how we can overcome. And just by saying to the saint the problems, a lot of times that become very much pleased that somebody is submitting to my devotee and the problems are resolved. So one has to be humble enough to admit one's fault, admit one's shortcoming, and seek the guidance how we can come out of this situation. Otherwise, it is very hard. People just have a hard time in just getting up in the morning. They have hard time sometimes sleeping also in the night. Why? Because they are not trying to follow somebody. They are not abide by. They are just on their mind. They are on the horse of their mind, and they are just going in the way direction it goes. Sometimes people happen to they start TV and it goes whole night and they start sleeping 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and it is just goes life like without any control or any regulation. So the regulation will come when the concentration will be there, when the commitment will be there, when there will be blessing and suggestion suggested by the superiors. So it is very, very important to seek the guidance and blessing from superiors, to consult with our peers. It is very, very important to know these principles in our life. And one should be intelligent enough to see the difference, that if I consult, it is my own benefit only. It is not something I'll become inferior, that if I consult I'll be considered fool or something. No, if instead of making mistake, better to consult. See, if we don't consult and we do some mistake, to rectify we'll end up in spending more time, and after spending more time, some mistakes cannot be recovered. So that's how the consultation is very, very important. Next is the very, very important aspect, which is a very prime foundation which gives the dimension to our life. Here, there is an incident when Lord Rama is being announced that he will be coronated as a king. So, in this incident, all the mothers, they used to love all the sons of Dasharatha equally. There was no difference. Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna was loved by all the other mothers in equal way. There was no distinction. But when Ram was announced, immediately there was one lady, name was Manthara. Mana means mind. Thara means one who churns it. So this Manthara, she churns the mind of Kaikai, and she tells us now what is going to happen. As soon as Kaikai was notified by Manthara that Lord Ram will be coronated as a king, immediately she takes a garland and a garland of pearls and she gives gift to uh, Manthara. But Manthara was so cunning, she was so much envious that she immediately take out and she keep aside. And she said, "What are you doing? Do you see the future? Now Ram will be installed and his mother will be the prime queen of the Lord, queen of the Dasharatha, and you will be just considered a servant. Don't you see that future? You should go to King Dasharatha and ask the boons what you already got it. And one of the boon you should ask is, you should ask that your son will should be coronated as a king, and Lord Ram, if he is here, all the people will support him, and they may attack Bharata, and again he will lose. So you should send Ram to the forest." So she make a nice plan and she feeds, and this literally, when the personal aspect of anybody is come into picture, one just doesn't think at all. And immediately, as soon as Kaikai was polluted by Manthara, Kaikai immediately agreed, and she did the same thing. And we know how much impact it happened. That entire Ramana become because of that one incident. So in our life also, anytime the association what we take in our life will bring us close to the God or will bring away from the God. We may not realize it, but our whole 24 hours of time is completely driven by the association what we keep. Some association will help us to come closer to God, some association will keep us slowly, slowly. It is just we may not realize also, but automatically the priority starts shifting in our life. So if we are with devotees of the Lord, we'll start going temple, we'll start doing service, we'll start doing God related all the activities. But when we go little bit 1% away from devotee, we have one non-devotee friend, then we start attending his different functions, we start attending his meetings, and we start going to with him for different things. And gradually, slowly, slowly, our time, our all the regulated schedule completely shifts us. So um, association is the factor what we should choose, which will help us to come closer to Lord Krishna. Otherwise, this life will be just moved with the different people with we are, and it is just life is just going like that. There is no goal of life. There is just like it is animal life. There is no human life if we follow that way. So the association is very very important factor in our life. We should choose which will help us to focus uh, towards our goal of life. And lot of time the social application and everything comes because we have maintained that association. Sometimes it is painful for some people, but we have to make some adjustment. Here someone may question me that how we can preach to other people. One should try to preach people by keeping the God in the center, by keeping the priority of our basic Krishna consciousness, and remaining time we can spend with others to give them a chance by inspiring them, by connecting them to the superior devotees. That is how one can grow. Otherwise, um, it was like when I was practicing and I was in first year of my engineering, I had some friends from my same caste, same college, and we were in hostel together. And my friends, which are from my same region, they were studying. I was also happy with them. But when I happened to meet devotees, I started liking devotees. I started liking chanting. I started liking serving to the temple. And my friends, they were not again. They said, "No, these people are not good. They just ask us to do so many things." But I said, we are doing for God. What is wrong there? It is nice service. But these friends, they were like they were wanted to continue their bad habits of going parties, late nights, and different activities, smoking, everything. I said, no, this is not going to be good for me. I have to make a choice. So I had a choice to continue with my friends, which are from my caste, from my region, or to join the devotee association. So I took that bold step that I should give up this association, because anytime when we are with God, we are always victorious. We are always successful in our life. We are always happy, because Lord is the one who reserves the rights to make one happy, reserves the right of one's success. So I took that bold decision, and when I left my all the friends, I could see that afterwards my all progress becomes so huge in my all the aspects. I could see the impact. I was not wasting time in movies. I was not wasting time in any sports, and I could focus in my studies, and I can excel in my career. So the material aspect is taken care, and ultimately I got the nice association of devotees where I started chanting, I started serving, and both way I was the winner. But my friends who didn't join me, they were there, they lost in their career. A lot of there were setbacks. They uh, had a lot of problems in their life. But here, when we take to God consciousness, automatically by the good habits, by a good association, lot of things automatically taken care. So we have to choose the right association to grow in our life. So this is one incident where which comes where it is important to seek the association rightly, and follow that in perfectly in life. So someone may ask, what is association? So association means three things should happen. The first thing is, as per the scripture, association means spiritual discussion should happen. Otherwise, we are associating, but in devotee circle also, if we are not talking spiritually, we are just talking some political things, sport news, or movie news, then that is not an association. There should be spiritual discussion, there should be knowledge transition, and there should be heart transformation. So this is the foundation of association. So when this is the thing happening, we are discussing about God, we are sharing the knowledge about God who don't have, and then by that the knowledge is put in practice. That is how called association. So we all know that there is a Mrugari, that there was one high priest of Ramayan. hunter who was so cruel, so criminal that he not only kill the animal, but he's to kill the animal half and he's to enjoy by seeing the suffering animal. Such a Mrugari. And when this Mrugari hunter and Narad Muni they had a meeting. In that meeting, this Mrugari, as soon as he saw the Narad Muni, automatically as soon as we see the saintly person, the service attitude comes for everybody. It is a natural tendency for all jiva. So Narad Muni, he asked Narad Muni, "Do you want any skin of any animal? Please let me know. I want to offer you." Narad Muni said, "No, no, no. I don't want anything." Then Narad Muni told him that you just go and ask your family members, whatever simple activity you are doing, are they going to contribute or share your quota of simple activity? He said, obviously, yes. How can they are my family members? He said, just go and ask them. Then Mrugari said, no, uh, I cannot do that. But Narad Muni said, no, you should check and then let me know. Immediately, as soon as Mrugari went to his family members, he asked his wife, he asked his parents. Nobody agreed to um, share his sins, what he's committing. And immediately, when Mrugari understood that, he came to Narad Muni, fall at feet, and asked. He asked the suggestion, "What can I do? What? How can I come out of this situation?" Narad Muni then, by his blessing, purified Mrugari by his association and told him to chant the holy name of the Lord, and then he'll be purified. And this Mrugari became so pure that while walking, the person who was killing animals have now while walking on the street, he is so careful that I should not step on any ants. So much person become pure by good association. So when we have a nice association like Narad Muni, everyone has a chance to get out of his conditioning, and Lord will surely bless us. Similar incidents happens with Valmiki also. Valmiki was such a sinful person that he filled 7 different pots. When he used to kill one person, he used to put one small stone into that pot. Like that, he filled 7 different pots. We can imagine if such a sinful person has the hope, then everyone has hope to practice Krishna consciousness. Only provided one should try to seek the right association. Association drives everything. Even if one doesn't know philosophy, even if one doesn't know how to serve, still one can continue if one just in association. Because in association, automatically one will learn how to serve the Lord. One will learn the spiritual knowledge. One will chant the holy name of the Lord, and automatically one will. But lot of times there are a lot of challenges happens when we are here in practice. There is always test. Anybody is continuing Krishna consciousness for multiple years means he has passed this test. So one can ask, what are the tests? So in this age of Kali Yuga, no two people can stay together. That's how we see so many differences. The ego is so powerful that there are a lot of differences, and the differences takes us away from association of devotees. But these differences and all these things, even if it is there, we should try to keep this aside. When it comes to service of the Lord, devotees should be together, coming to see how we can please the Lord. Just like in one house, two brothers are fighting, but they know how the father will be pleased. Then one son sacrifices, and the son who sacrifices for others, that son become very much loved by the father. Similarly, in spiritual life also, we have a lot of differences. A lot of times the differences happens because there is no communication. The communication has to be proper. When the communication is there, that time the differences won't arise. But and the ego becomes so prominent, so strong that the communication doesn't happen, and some differences happen. These differences live so many years, and that's how we see so many devotees. We see them sometime temple, then we don't see them for so many months or years, and then later they come back. But any matter whatever happens, one should not leave up the association. One can change the association. It is possible that sometimes we may have disagreements, but we can if we cannot get along with one A DOT, we should go to B DOT and try to consult and see whether we are right or wrong. Sometimes we think we are only right. That's how the point which initially I got is consultation, blessing, permissions. And when we have this mood, then superior can guide us more transparently, more clearly. And to the degree the superiors will see that we are following their instruction, that degree the instruction will be more straightforward, more crystal clear. Otherwise, if we are not following, that time come perfectly. They will be little hesitant to give us some corrections in our life. But those who are more corrected, they are more perfected in their life. Any sportsman who is very successful in his life, he is more tortured, more cleaned up by his coach. Similarly, in spiritual life also, those devotees who are strong in their practice, they are very much corrected. They are very much told at particular circumstances by their superiors, oh, you should not do this, you should do this. And when they follow it, that time the superiors become pleased, and the person who is taking the guidance also become very much happy in his life. And we are protected. To the degree we are seeking the guidance and blessing of the superiors, that degree we are protected. To the degree we are whimsical, that degree we are unsafe in spiritual life. But our mind is the biggest enemy, and that's how we should seek the guidance always from the association, and will be benefited by the association. Any question here, or shall we move ahead? Okay, silence is taken as granted. Okay, next. So we know the incident now. The Kaikai asks the two boons, and Dasratha is requesting, I can make Bharata as a king, oh Kaikai, but don't send Lord Ram to forest. He's so small. He's so everyone loves him so much. Nobody will be happy by this decision. But Kaikai was not at all agreeing. She is just very much determined to get her both the boons fulfilled. So the king of the world, such a powerful Dasharatha, he also become fall prey. When one promises, then one become obliged. So that's how this one point we discussed initially also, that one should think before promising anything in life. But as soon as you promise, don't delay in executing the promise. We should immediately execute at any cost. So those people who keeps the promise, they are appreciated and loved by everyone in the world. So here we see that Dasratha's request was denied by Kaikai, and Dasratha has to follow the what promise he has done. So lot of times we see that we think, oh, what happens if I don't do this, I don't do that. But no, when we are committing especially to the Lord's devotees, we should try to try our best. There might be certain challenges in our life where we will not be able to come to the expectation, but the endeavor is the success in spiritual life. It is not that everyone is successful. We'll see the next one of the slide where uh, Jatayu has done his best of the endeavor. He was not successful in his endeavor to protect Mother Sita, but Jatayu was glorious. He was cremated by Lord himself. Such a blessing he got, and he could, though he was killed by demon Ravana, but still he got mercy of the Lord because he followed the instructions on the right side. He was trying to protect Mother Sita. He was on the side of Dharma, so that's the reason. So it is important for everyone that one should follow the Dharma as per one's capacity. Next, attachment to the service, not to the post. So when Lord Ram initially, when he was announced that he will be um coronated as a king, he was happy. And again, after some time, he got a notice that he has to go to forest. He was happy. He was happy in taking the post as a king of the Ayodhya, and he was happy to go to the forest. So it is very difficult. Not everyone can do it. It needs a lot of guts to have this kind of challenging decisions to taken very positively. But everything happen in the life has some purpose and meaning, and to give us good learning from that particular incidents. So here Lord Ram, we can see that he was not at all disturbed for any of this thing. So similarly in spiritual life also, sometimes we'll get good service, sometimes we'll get that service, sometimes we'll get post also, sometimes we'll not get post also. But if there is service and we see that we can do it, we should do it. So the service which is done to the degree selflessly, that degree we become very much loved by the Lord. Otherwise, lot of times, and on the name of the post and positions, we may do offense, and it is very dangerous for one's spiritual life. So the safest position in spiritual life is servant of the servant. That's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us one very much important shloka from the Shikshashtakam. Taro Yerapi Saishnu Amani Namanidana Kirtaniya Sadahari. So those want to keep the chanting the holy name of the Lord, they should be humble than the blade of the grass. So the humility is very, very important. And unless one has humility, one will not be able to be equipped in all the situation to accept anything for the service of the Lord. Ultimately, it is not that by getting name and fame for any of the service we'll be happy in our life. No, the ultimate goal is to please the Lord, and we should see what is the way which we can please. Sometimes just agreeing to the other devotee's decision also makes the Lord happy. We may not be able to do the service, but if we are positively contributing to the good mission, then that is also service. But mm, our material mind always keeps us bothering and keeps us holded. So that's how the mind has to be purified by chanting. So time and again the same message is coming that we should chant the holy name of the Lord focusly, and to the degree focusly we'll chant, that degree we'll be able to uh, clean our and purify our intelligence. Next, we may get a question in our mind: why Lord Ram got Vanvas? Lord Ram is not done anything bad. He is very good. Everyone loves him. So why Lord Ram got Vanvas? So whenever Lord comes with some purpose in our mission in the world. So Lord's mission was to kill Ravana. Lord's mission was to help all the Vaishnavas to get rid of all the problems from the Ravana. So that is the one reason. Second is Lord wanted some transcendental vacation, because after marriage he wanted to go with his consort mother Sita. So that's the reason where Lord Ram got Vanvas. And again, one more important point to which he wanted to demonstrate to his example, because it said that Lord Ram will be followed by people as example in their life. Lord Krishna is called Leela Purushottam, but Lord Ram is called Maryada Purushottam. So Lord Ram followed perfectly as an ideal life as example, as a perfect son, perfect husband, perfect king. In all aspects of Lord Ram's life, all things are perfect, which can be followed by any common man. That's a lot of times, a lot of people they are able to appreciate Lord Ram very easily, and but they cannot appreciate Lord Krishna very easily, because to understand the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, one need to have certain kind of purification to see that in our life. So uh, here Lord Ram wanted to set the example of obedience, how obedient he is to his father, to his family, that just he was told to go to forest and he was ready to go. So this is the one example which Lord is setting for uh, time and memorial, to see how much obedient Lord Ram was, that um, to give up everything. Though everybody was against this decision, they said, "Oh, we'll do everything, Lord. You just tell us. Nobody can oppose you." But still, Ram said, "No, I cannot do that." So this is the reason Lord Ram got Vanvas. Again, Lord wanted to show that this world there is nothing stable. Today we may have something, tomorrow we may not have something. So it is, for Lord it can happen. So what to say of common people like us, that today we might get some good amount of facility, sometime we may not get. So one should not be disturbed. Those who are spiritually saturated, they don't get disturbed in any situation. Just like on the road, we will see that there will be a lot of patches or some problems on the road, some digs will be there. But if we have nice car like Mercedes and BMW, we may go on the road when we may not realize also the shock ups are so good. One doesn't get problem, or one doesn't get realization of this uh, road situation. Similarly, in spiritual life, those who are very much saturated with Krishna, they don't get distracted or disturbed by the outside world situation. And as they are saturated with Krishna, uh, they don't feel any impact of the dualities of the world, and they are continued to do their duty. Lot of times some people they got into problem, but instead of coming out of the problem, they are just thinking about the problem and they cannot endeavor at all. So um, because they cannot endeavor, they cannot come out. But for a devotee of the Lord, they know that okay, it come, okay, fine, Lord's plan, just let us work it out to come out of the situation. So that is how it is very, very important to be Krishna consciousness, not to be disturbed by outside world, and achieve success in any field. I'm not just talking about spiritual life, but any thing we want to achieve in our life, one should be out of the duality, one should be out of the problems, and one should see the things from the clear perspective of scripture. That is the time when we can um, endeavor and overcome the challenges in our life. Otherwise, a lot of time when the problem comes, we are just thinking about the problem. So one has to be blessed by the Lord, uh, and then one can come out of the problems. Next, the service of the Lord is not respect to particular uh, status of the society. Everyone has a same chance to serve the Lord. It is not dependent on any birth. That's how Prabhupada, when Prabhupada came to America, Prabhupada established the principle very perfectly and understood the essence. And Prabhupada even initiated multiple Christians to the Brahmana. And this is so much opposed by a lot of Indian culture people. But the essence is one who is person doesn't become highly qualified by his birth. Person become qualified by his qualities. That is time memorial or scriptures is teaching us. Just like anybody is a doctor, his son cannot be doctor unless he goes to university, he achieves that degree. Anybody is a lawyer, his son cannot be just a lawyer. He has to qualify for that position by proving through his qualities, education, everything. Similarly, if anybody is born as a Brahmana, just cannot be Brahmana. I have seen so many Brahmana. I mean, here in America, so many Brahmins they are eating cow flesh. So much bad to hear, but they are not Brahmanas because they are just born in the family, but they are not following at all. So one doesn't become qualified to serve the Lord by his birth. One become qualified by his qualities, and that's what Lord wanted to present. Guha, the person who is driving the boat, he's considered low cost as per the spiritual as per the status of the society. But Lord Ram is ready to accept the service from anybody and everyone. So we should never discriminate. Any Vaishnava can born in any caste or any religion, but if he's serving the Lord, he's following all the scriptural principles, showing the exhibiting the quality of Vaishnava, we should accept it. It is previous fate that person is born in particular caste or religion, but in this situation, how he's doing, that is important. We should not see the history. We should see the present, and especially when we see the Vaishnavas, we should not see from the material perspective. We should see the Vaishnava from always spiritual perspective, and when Lord will see that, Lord become very much pleased. Otherwise, if we try to see the Vaishnavas on material platform, then uh, it is kind of offense. We should see the Vaishnava spiritually, and when we see that, then Lord will be very pleased, and we can be very have a very harmonious society. So that is the pastime which Lord is demonstrating here, that and the service of the Lord is not uh, impacted by anything. Next. So next is very important again, that we discussed initially, that uh, the purpose of Dashara coming is to overcome all these bad qualities. So what are the bad qualities? The bad qualities are lust, greed, pride, illusion, envy, and anger. So if one, these are very prominent in animals, but in humans also, if these qualities are prominent, then we are that percent of animal. So let us say if we are 50% lusty, then we are 50% animal. If we are 50% greedy, we are 50% animal. So the person who is devotee of the Lord is devoid of all these bad qualities. He has overcome all these bad qualities, and when one overcomes this bad quality, one become very dear to Lord. So one should live in reality. One should be humble. One should be non-envious, and one should be considerate to everybody and tolerant. Unless one is humble, one is not tolerant, one cannot be a devotee for longer. It's just a matter of time. After some point of time, one will be able to not continue this process. So if we want to continue this thing, we should give up this all bad qualities. And Dasara signifies the victory of good over evil, victory of good qualities over bad qualities. So we can make a resolution. Dasara is the day. Ideally, we should be making resolution, seeking the blessing of the Lord and devotees to come out of all these different bad qualities in our life. These are the bad quality which not only separates the family, not only keeps us suffering. Actually, these are suffering. Actually, these bad qualities. One of the these are virus in our system which keeps us into problem. So Lord Ram comes to kill all these bad qualities and fulfill the mission the way he has come. Next, goal of life is to please the Lord. So pleasing the Lord is very very important. That's what initially also we discussed that um, how keeping our own views aside in the service of the Lord is important. Similarly, here the incident is coming that the all the people of the Ayodhya, they wanted to with the Lord and go with him in the forest, but Lord Ram sent them uh, mm, back and you should not come with me. This is my situation. I should go to the forest. I should continue. So um, in spiritual life, either we will be doing service to the Lord or we will be lazy, or that is called aram. So can anybody read? Want to make the people active? Let me tell who can read. Yes, Milind Prabhu, will you like to read? Milind Prabhu, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm there. I will lead.
Okay. Mhm.
Ram or Aram, a test for every seeker. Citizens of Ayodhya wanted to go with Lord Rama to forest and leave behind all the comforts, Aram, of the city Ayodhya. Alertness in spiritual life. Lord Rama leaves Ayodhya when they were asleep. If one is inattentive or lazy, one will lose taste in bhakti. Keeping our own views beside and co- cooperate with service of the Lord. Bharat accepting the service to act as proxy for the Lord. Paduka, speak, Paduka speaking to Bharat. What is
Yeah.
it?
So
Yeah.
here, yeah, I'll explain. So here, uh, in order to be devotee of the Lord, one will not be lazy. A lot of times, some of the pseudo spiritualists, fake spiritualists, on the name of laziness, they have given bad name to the devotees of the Lord. But it is a duty on the responsible devotee to act dutiful. Devotees of the Lord are hardworking. They are not lazy people, and they work extra to establish, because every activity what they do, they try to represent the supreme person they Godhead. So anybody who is devotee of the Lord, his action should be such a that he should be able to represent Lord, and his action should reflect that he is a devotee of the Lord. That's how devotees of the Lord are stars in performing all their activities. In their work, they are star. In their relationship, they are stars. In their uh, all the dependents taking care everything, they are smart. So um, that is the point coming, that devotees of the Lord are never lazy. They are always active. And the next point is coming is alertness. How much one should be alert and attentive in our services, our chanting, and every activity. If we are not active, then we lose certainly test, yeah, after some period of time. And this point already we discussed, keeping views aside. Next point, Bharata had such a love for Lord Ram that he doesn't want to separate from the Lord. But because Lord told him that if you want to really please me, just go and rule the all mothers are there. You need to take care of them and take care of kingdom. So just to please the Lord, Bharata agreed to uh, um, just keep his own feeling outside, and saw the feeling of Lord Ram, and he uh, just asked Lord Ram that give me your footprints, this paduka that I can carry and I can put on the throne and serve the Lord. So when this slippers of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, taken by Bharata, these slippers were talking to Bharata that, oh Bharata, what you have done this thing? I was always under the feet of Lord Ram, which is a shelter for everyone in the world. But why did you took it? Why you separated me from Lord? That time, Bharata says it was the instruction of the Lord, and I cannot do like this. So this Paduka also is a person in spiritual life. Everything we see materially, they are also person. They can speak. They have feeling. So this Paduka is requesting that in the separation, I can remember Lord more, and I'll be happy if Lord is happy with my separating from Him. So Paduka also got separated. So here the incident coming is, in the service of the Lord, our own views are not important, but what pleases the Lord, to act on the direction of the Lord, is very, very important. Now, these are some of the points which are coming through the service attitude of Bharata and different devotees. Uh, I like somebody to read. Let me tell. Uh, it goes so that I don't miss. Ajay Prabhu, will you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah. Three pillars of trustworthy servant. Concern. Servant knows master's mind and carries out command to give full satisfaction. Competence. Acts with confidence based on previous experience and displays competence. Character. Alert and aware of his duties and only cares for Lord's pleasure.
Yeah.
Servants.
Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. We'll give someone else chance. And let me see who did. Bhupender Prabhu? Bhupender Prabhu, you are there? Will you able to read from fourth?
Yes.
Yeah. You can complete. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. You have read
Till
concern, competence, character.
yes.
Okay.
Next fourth. Mhm.
Servant's only joy is smile on Lord's face. Then next is soul's constitutional position is eternal service. Then devotee's happiness is not in his service but in the satisfaction of the Lord. Then devotee can neither feel proud nor happy about this his service. Next is if Lord is happy about the service, then since Lord is pleased, devotee can feel happy. Then service is for satisfaction of master, not for the happiness of the servant.
Yeah. So here,
Thank
these
you.
are the quality which are mentioned for the worthy servant. So one should be concerned, one should be competent, and one should have character to do the service. So um, while doing any service, we should try to focus on these few points which are demonstrated here in this pastimes of Lord Bharata and different inhabitants of Ayodhya. So all these were there, and that's how all the devotees they could peacefully live in the harmony. So these are the secret points which are required for every devotee to try to imbibe in their life so that they can serve the Lord selflessly. Again, the next point is lesson coming is, one can never achieve the devotion to God by any cheating or duplicitous nature. Uh, because bhakti is not something one can steal. When Ravana was trying to capture Mother Sita, but the actual Sita was already hidden. And this Sita, what Lord Ravana was, sorry, the Sita which Ravana was taking was a fake Sita. So um, we'll discuss this past time sometime later. But the point we are trying to make is, um, with cheating mentality, one can never achieve the devotion to Lord, because Lord resides in our heart Himself, and Lord will give everybody everything, but Lord will not give bhakti. Next, Lakshman Rekha. So we know the past times how the Marichi became the um, deer, and he tried to attract Mother Sita, and Mother Sita requests that it would be nice if we can have this golden deer. And then Lord Ram goes out to chase. And that same time, even when Maricha was killed, um, Maricha at the time of death, he calls Lakshmana, that Lakshmana, by taking the sound of Lord Ram, he's trying to pull Lakshmana away from Mother Sita. Then um, Lakshmana understood actually Lord Ram can never be in danger. Lord Ram is such a powerful warrior, and nobody can defeat him. It is not Lord Ram's choice, but Mother Sita being very much concerned about Lord Ram, she forcefully pushes Lakshman to go and um, save Lord Ram's life. So unhesitantly, hesitantly very much, Lakshmana says, "Oh mother, I cannot leave you because it is instruction of Lord Ram. But as you are persisting so much, I will go. But you please don't cross this line." So Lakshmana puts one line, and this line is considered as the boundary. So this boundary, which is going to protect Mother Sita, and Mother Sita, if she would have not crossed this boundary, Ravana would have no dare to come and grab her. It was such a powerful. So this boundary, when Mother Sita crossed, she was kidnapped. Similarly, on a spiritual life also, as long as we keep ourselves in the boundary of practicing all the spiritual principles, we'll be protected. So if we go out of the boundary of when not following the principle of scripture, we will not be protected. We'll be taken away by Maya, and when we'll be taken away by Maya, that time we will live the life like animals. So if we want to live the life of human beings, life of nice practicing devotee, we should try to focus on the following the instructions, following the scriptural principle. Especially Prabhupada gave us four regulative principle: no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. So all these principles are for our protection. So these are the four do's, and there are four do's and four don'ts. So as long as one follows this thing, one will be protected. So Lakshmana represent the Guru. So as long as one follows Guru, Guru means what? Guru and Guru's representative are the same thing. Because Guru will have so many disciples, Guru will not be able to go each and every disciple to um, see his life, how it is going, and give him instruction where he can improve. But Guru trains few disciples, establish the system. Like we are in Pune, we have a counseling system where every devotee is connected to particular mentor, and then through mentor he's given the guidance. So it is said that through the devotee, the service goes up, and when the service reaches to Lord, automatically from the Lord, through that devotee only the mercy comes to us. It is not that we are not so pure, so qualified that we can directly serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are meant to be servant of the servant, and that will be shown by how we protect ourselves by following the instructions from the scripture. Next, Next is temptation separate us from the Lord. We can see here Mother Sita, she was with Lord Ram always, but as soon as she got temptation of this deer, golden deer, immediately she got separated. Lord Ram went to chase this deer and she got separated. So in our life also, the very reason we are away from God, the very reason we are suffering, the very reason we are not with Lord is our all the attraction to the different things of the world. So it may be everyone has a different his own choice and expectation, desires and everything. But these are the things which are holding us. Our root cause of being in this world is the attraction to the worldly things. So to the degree we have that attraction to the worldly things, we are not satisfied on the spiritual pleasure what we should derive. That degree we will be able to go away from the Lord. So here Mother Sita, who is a consort of the Lord, if she's not able to stay with the Lord, what is the scope for all of us? So the one of the sign of a devotee who is progressing is considered like how many how much desire material desires he has, and how much one is uh, uh, trying to reduce that. So if one's material desires, material favor is going down, and one's spiritual longing desire is growing up, that means one is progressing. But after becoming a devotee also, if all these desires are not still reducing, we are not getting sufficient spiritual taste, nourishment, that means something is wrong. Our practice is not right. The problem with practicing sadhaka is the one who has achieved the spiritual highest taste, He's completely satisfied in spiritual life and he doesn't get any material desires. But the person who has 1 foot on the material place and one is on the spiritual place, he's not given up the complete material taste and he has not achieved the complete spiritual taste. So he's the most suffering person. And it is not possible that we can have the both the time. We can either have head or we can have either tail. So um, the struggling sadhaka should always try to strive himself to reduce his house material expectation. That's how the principle of simplicity comes into picture. Live the life what Lord have given us with basic principles, and that way we'll be happy. Because there is no end to the expectation. There is no end. Even the Alfred Ford, the owner of the Ford company, he say when he was giving session and he was telling that the road which you are chasing, I am on the other side of the road for material wealth, but still believe me that there is no happiness here. So there is no end to the desires of this material world. We can never satisfy ourselves 100% because our life is very short. We are very limited in capacity. We cannot make ourselves satisfied by our world longing. Just like if one has a desire to eat sweet, how much one can consume the sweet? One has a limit. One stomach capacity is limited. One cannot continuously. When we can eat hardly one small plate of sweets, we cannot have entire plate filled with sweet and all the 3 times and all the week. No, it is not possible. We will not able to, because it is said variety is the mother of enjoyment, and the variety will be only possible in spiritual life, not in material life. Material life there will be variety, but it is frustrating. It is added with one small component of frustration. So um, I like to stop here. With this, we have some more lessons, but maybe some other time I will take it. But I like to see if any questions here on this, whatever we had discussion. Anybody want to have any question, any more discussion?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, in
Yes.
can you give me some examples of temptations in our real life?
So everyone has a desire. Let us say if first thing is we have longing for so much money. We are longing for particular kind of dress. See, dress we can have simple dress also. We can have very like someone can have 1,000 rupees dress also. One can have 10,000 rupees dress also. So the temptation is that 10,000 rupees. The basic need is what? Dress. So one should relieve the descent. Like some Matajis have too much longing for gold. Some people have too much longing for different varieties of cars. I see in US here there are people who stays in rental apartment, but they have BMW cars. Can you believe that? India people will laugh actually on this one, that you can stay in rental apartment, such a small apartment you rental, you are staying and you are owning the car, which with that same amount you can have house, your own house. So
Mm.
this kind of temptations, like some people have temptation for gadgets. Like here I see a lot of people, iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13. Every phone comes there after that. Every model comes there after that variety of gadgets. The, that kind of things which tempts us, which takes us a lot of human form of energy. And that's how anytime we will have experience like my phone 2 years back was like got damaged, and when the new phone came, to move my entire data from old phone to new phone, understand the new phone functionality, lot of time went actually. And I was thinking why it happened. But for outsiders it is common, they just don't feel anything. New phone comes, they are exploring, learning, wasting their human form of life. So these are the allurements. And it is just a few examples I told, but in everyone's life, as per the background what comes, as per the association one is, this different longings or desiring will be different. So some people are too much aspirant about career also. They will have some 10, 20 degrees and they are so much greedy and continue studying different things. They just want to keep on adding their degree. But does it everything necessary? Use this human form of life for making some meaningful. You can have decent degree. I don't say one should not study. One should certainly study throughout his life, but not at the cost of your main business of human form of life. So these are the allurements. So allurement comes first at physical, like body level, in terms of decoration and everything. Like second is at mental level, uh, for reading or any other thing. Then intellectual level, like having the multiple degrees and everything. Um, but one should have 100% spiritual level longing. One should have, and that way one will be able to achieve the goal of life. So that will keep us connected to the Lord. Otherwise, all the material temptations will keep us always keep away from Lord. Is that clear, Prabhu? Any more specific? If you have anything, I can.
Yes, Prabhuji. It's clear.
Any any more questions? So, Neeraj, Prabhu, you tell me when to stop. Actually, we'll continue as long as questions. I don't have any issue. Okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes. Yes, Akshay, Prabhu. Mhm.
Prabhu, as you have experienced your devotional life in India and
Mhm.
currently you are in USA, do
Yes,
you
Prabhu.
find any difference between these two countries, like
Big
differences
difference. Big difference.
performing? What are the pros and cons? Since I am planning for Canada or UK for my graduate post graduation,
Mhm.
so I wish to know this.
Yes, Prabhu. So basically, there is a huge difference in terms of here and India. India people are so much loving, so much caring, so much supportive in terms of all the activities. But here, everyone is so much self-centered that even the kids they don't take care of parents, and the parents also they don't take care of kids till the time of schooling, high school. The parents will teach the kids, and later the parents will tell, now you take your own loan and you study, and that's how you continue. And the kids also they don't stay with parents. um, they stay with their hostel or friends after their high schooling. They don't stay with the parent. So this is our culture here. It is not something everybody does. Devotees is exception. Devotees stay, kids stay with them, but a lot of times outside world is like this. So this is the one difference which I observed. Second thing is practicing devotion here is um, little different, not like the way in India we have, because here we have a lot of foreigner devotee. So the food habits will be different. They in temple also they will make pasta, pizza, and different American items so that it matches. So it will mix and match between Indian culture and this culture. So in terms of food habits, things will change. In terms of schedule of Krishna consciousness, like morning program and everything remains same, no change. ISKCON is global. We are same. 4:30 Mangalarti, and then chanting and everything like that. Same it goes. Again, in terms of food, I can say that we don't get everything what we get in India. Here, there are limited things which are available. So uh, India will have facility of having Govindas and all. Here we don't have that kind of luxury. We just have to ourselves cook uh, whatever we want to, and we offer Lord, and then we consume it. And uh, in terms of services and all, also it will be different, because India you can straight away go to anybody and just approach and tell Prabhu this thing, that thing. Here we should first ask, Prabhu, will you be able to help here? Can you help me? Or do you have time first? Do you have time to talk? In the outside also, we'll not be just straight away. India will say, oh, come, do this, do that. But here it's not like that. Everything we have to do our own. Very few people are able to afford the servants. In US, no servant concept. Everything is you should do your own. um, from all the activities. Like let us say if you're moving home, you have to you'll get a car for rent, but you will not get a driver. You have to drive the big truck if we are taking to move from one house to another house. If you are want to see the uh, outside road also, you need a permission to do any spiritual activity, and lot many restrictions are there in terms of all these things. So if any specific area, Prabhu, you want to know, then I can tell you more, like child education or any other thing, like or financially or anything. You can, if you are specific, I can go with that area and just tell you, because there will be huge list keep growing, and it may not be relevant for everybody who is here. Or we can talk personally also, not a problem. Like if any help required.
Yes, yes,
Which
Prabhu,
area?
sure.
Which area you are going in Canada
Uh,
or US?
it's not fixed yet. I'm into process right now.
Okay, okay,
Maybe in UK I will go, or else I will choose Ontario only.
okay, okay. So majority of times, no problem nowadays. We have devotee everywhere in the world. Just try to stay connected to the local devotees with our capacity. And if you need any help, let me know. We can do it everywhere. We have devotees. Just you have to figure out a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
Should not
thank
be a
you, Prabhu.
problem.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, not issue. Yes. Any more question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Uh, One thing is that I was just thinking during your lecture that
Mhm,
Manthara was means we just blame Manthara, but when Manthara uh, uh, means if Manthara would not have told Kaikeyi about
mhm,
sending Ram to one, then
mhm,
the all these benefits of one was that like killing the demons and all these things would not have happened. So Kaikeyi has taken this blame and she has helped Ram in fact. So this is the positive side, Prabhuji. We can I just thought during your presentation, so I'm sharing this. And the question which I wanted to ask is regarding the Grihastha life. Like in
mhm.
Grihastha life, Prabhuji, people say that we should have at least two kids and we should give time to family members, we should attend the parties and all these things. But balancing all these things, like having one kid and then focusing more on spirituality, will it be means how right it is from a spiritual perspective? So please guide, Prabhuji.
So your question is having two kid or one kid? That is the question, or let me understand the question. Or balancing, what is the issue here?
The thing is that one kid is sufficient, or we should, according to the social structure in India, people say
Mhm.
that we should have at least two kids and like this. So from a spiritual point of view, what is right?
So from spiritual perspective, having two kid is good actually. I myself have only one kid, and I know what all challenges I faced with one kid. But having two kid is always better. Initially, uh, from spiritual perspective, it looks like if we have two kids, we'll consume more times, and how we'll be able to focus on everything, and better to have one kid, and that's how everyone thinks. But no, when Lord is giving you somebody to take care, it is a Lord who makes the elder kid automatically mature. But if you have only one kid, the kid remains immature, first kid specifically, and you end up in spending more time with only one kid. But if we have two kids, then automatically the first kid become mature, and the first kid take care of another kid, and by seeing the elderly kid, the younger kid automatically become mature. The elderly kid also, after initially first couple of years, 3 4 years, there will be little challenging situation for both the parents, but later and the kids will play their own, they will manage their own, and a lot of times they will do their things own, and you don't end up in spending any time with them. And after some years in future, they will support each other also in terms of all the activities. So if you teach any spirituality to the elder kids, automatically the younger kids catch up. They'll follow each other. There will be little transcendental competition in each other, and that's how they do, and the kid grows. But if we have one kid only, then you have to become a kid for that another kid, and you have to do everything with that kid. If you have to play, you have to engage in any activity, you have to become kid, any of the one parent, and it is more time consuming than having two kid. So that's what my personal experience. So and also when we have two kids, the kids automatically some habits develop, like sharing mentality. If we have two kids, the kids learn to share with each other as a brother siblings. But if only one kid is there, then it is very very tough to make the kid understand that how it is important to share, to understand this feeling. It is not easy. And because being a parent, we always become the like supportive to kid. So the kid takes things everything as a granted. So he doesn't learn a lot of things, and he expects that everyone should go under my direction. Everything, all things should happen as per my expectation, and the I-ness in that one kid grows a lot. So if we have two kids, then he thinks, oh, not only me is there, my sibling also there. So the sharing mentality and the self-centeredness doesn't remain. And if only one kid is there, again we become more and more attached to only one kid. But if we have two kids, then the separation happens, and gradually they remain their own independent. So these are some things which I observe in my life. But if something more specific you want to talk, we can talk personally. But these are generic thing which I can say, that having more like more means two kids is helpful in future time, not immediate time. Immediate time, initially there will be some hiccups for first 2 3 years will be little challenging.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It was nice, like so many points you told. Actually, I was confused, so I asked this question.
Anytime, a lot of times we think that we are the one who are responsible for growing kids or financially doing everything and all. But we are the uh, proxy to the Lord. We are on behalf of Lord taking care of our kids. The kids bring their own fortune, the kids bring their own money, the kids bring their own whatever they destine in their life. It is not we are on just behalf of Lord we are acting. Nowadays I see in the society there is a trend that first I'll make financial settlement and then I'll have kids. Later there are a lot of challenges happens in bodily structure of the parents, and they don't get baby. I have one colleague with me working. At the age of 42 he got his first baby, because initially they said, oh, we want to understand each other, spend good amount of time, so many years, and then they didn't have baby so many years. And uh, and now later they had to take a treatment and all, but doctor said no, there is some problems, and we keep delaying, and now you can imagine at the age of 42 he has one baby, and now he's planning for another baby. So delaying is not good. Everything should happen at the right time. If it is done at right time, then it is perfect. And having siblings and all these things, because right now there is no culture passed from the previous generation to the current generation. This is a big gap our society is facing, and that's how a lot of people, they sometimes they have kid, they have no kid, they have one kid, like that. So many problems are happening in especially Hindu society. This is a big problem, that we are thinking we are the controller, we are the taking care of parent, for kids. But no, it's not the fact. Lord is the one who takes care, and everyone brings his own destiny. We should never forget that we cannot change anybody's destiny. Everyone brings his own destiny. So that's how one should never be hesitant in this kind of things. And this knowledge is not passed. That is not fault of the current generation. The previous generation, they didn't tell clearly why this should be there. Sorry, I was little straightforward, but this is a truth which I need to speak. Yeah. Any last question?
Dandavat Pramanam Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just wanted to say this is really eye-opening, and what you said, it's really very revealing to me about Ramayan. We hear Ramayan in so many forms from the small age, but आपका जो दर्शन है, जो आपने जो the way you have looked at it, explained it, has revealed so many things to us, and I just wanted to bow to your feet that. It is really amazing and enlightening and really humbling experience to me. And I want to thank you and Nilesh Prabhu for organizing this program. It is really amazing. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your encouraging note. Yeah. Okay, Nilesh Prabhu, I think we'll stop here. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. This is my first service which I am doing in my chanting time. Usually, I don't do accept any service, but out of love for Shuddha Prabhu and you, I love all of you. Uh, Sometime I feel like it won't be frequent, but I'll see like whenever Krishna willing and time permits. Thank you for all of you for your time, and I seek your blessing and prayers